Hello everyone and welcome to Games, Comics and Crafts. In this video I'll be looking at Savage Sword of Conan issue 9. Okay, so this is the 9th issue of Savage Sword. Got a particularly nice Neil Adams cover here, very cool. So we've got one continuous story and one backup. I'm not sure if this is my favourite format because I quite like the idea of using Savage Sword to tell more stories from the Howard verse, if you want to call it that. But this is actually a really good story, so it wasn't too bad this time round. In fact, the Cole story at the end of it, yeah, it's all right, but not great. Okay, so we are here. We're after Red Nails. We've got Valeria, the pirate lass. They've just killed all the people, and off they go. They go trotting across this area, and basically get going to walk to the ocean. And it takes them so long they decide to take a right-hand turn, go to another place where they get hired as caravan guards. So as they find the guys attacking the caravan guards, they discover that they're actually the caravan's just shipping water, and all the people there are just kind of being need water. So they kick the water off the back of it, and off they go back to town. So when they're in town, they're not having a good place because apparently Conan is responsible for changing the king after a rebellion, and she has raided the town several times over in the past. Just going to say, Patrick Searcher artwork, absolutely gorgeous as normal. So they don't get arrested as such, but they get picked up by these guards who want to go and see the new king, and he kind of explains, "Well, we know who you are. You didn't even use different names." And they got this sorcerer guy there who basically kind of like said, "I want you to do something for you." But the sorcerer guy, they say no. Sorcerer guy says, "Right, okay." Well, makes her blind and say, "Well, okay, if you don't want her to be blind, you're gonna need to do this job for me." And apparently, this job is to go to this island, capture this amphora, which is like a giant vase, basically, which apparently can spit out water because apparently the whole area is under famine and a drought. So that's what that water was being shipped out. And this to me is like a D&D plot. I mean, this is the decanter of endless water. So I think this is pretty cool. Anyway, they're going to get in the boat. They've got some bowmen with them and some other people, and they're kind of discussing about, well, we should probably just kill everybody and get off. And it's like, oh no, the bowmen kind of her, and that's it. Okay, fine. And then they're hit by storms, and people are getting washed overboard. Get to the island, attacked by a giant crab, which is very Ray Harryhausen, which I absolutely love. So that's very cool. So they fight the crab off. And let's say it always like Conan again. Conan was pretty cool when he's just like fighting animals and like giant monstery thing, like like giant animals. It doesn't have to be a demon or something every time. It could be something like that. Anyway, so Conan's getting a bit randy. But as they're going through the area, they're basically kind of realizing that there's something going on here. They should be able to find this cave. They're laying these little tweeting birds down to try and find their way back because apparently it's such a vast jungle. These kind of little birds go make this noise. They get to apparently where the shrine is, which again, this page is just absolutely lovely. And inside they discover there's this kind of story of the followers of this woman who's apparently part the daughter of Dagon and somebody else, which is like, okay, right. And it explains that they basically all the followers eventually turned on her, and they became savage, and they degenerated from men and became their own thing. Now, I was quite this one disappointment in this story is that when they degenerated, they turned to monkeys or ape-like creatures. Um, I really would have loved it if they were kind of like deep ones from Cthulhu, if they were kind of fish people. That would make more sense to me. You got you got Dagon's daughter. They should be fish people. Anyway, combat don't go particularly right for him. Even the mage turns them blind, and he realizes they don't need the sight to see, so he gets killed, and then eventually kind of ages before the people's eyes. And there's one guy left at the end of it, and they get swept away underwater where they emerge in the kind of like the true temple. Again, just the artwork of this is so good. And in this true temple, they find what they're looking for. And as they're fighting the remainder of these creatures, this kind of spirity thing starts forming out the top of the vase, and it turns out it's actually Queen Maria herself. But she's not all it seems to be. So she is a sea hag, daughter of Dagon, which kind of makes sense. So they're having a bit of a scrap with her, which doesn't go particularly to plan. But as she's fighting Conan, Valeria destroys the amphora, which is the source of her power, which obviously the thing also is what they're there for, and it all goes to hell. But Bowman's dead, Dagon's daughter's dead. End of story. That's it. Job done. So presumably, obviously, they find their way back, and it's kind of a pointless storyline. They don't get what they want. I mean, they could have really brought something back, but they didn't. But all in all, I did enjoy this. I thought it was pretty cool. The artwork alone is worth it, so it's really good. The next one though, is it's okay, but I don't really see the point. About this Red Slayer armor people, and apparently they've got this armor that's possibly made out of glass, which is very Skyrim. And they're kind of like proving themselves. And there's a guy there who's like the head of their council, who's kind of overlooking it all. And there's an assassin who's got this kind of like shimmer soak thing going on, and he tries to get through, and they eventually kind of like track him down. He can turn invisible because it reflects the light, and it turns out this thing is kind of like made out of similar glass armor. Um, and he's holding the guy captive, and as he goes in to kind of kill him, and they manage to kind of catch up with him, it turns out it's Cull all along, and he's just basically testing the people. Yeah, okay, it's fine. I don't, get just like the idea that he kind of just takes it off like a disco costume. It's like Dazzler's, 70s disco costume. Just weird. Um, I would say, but my biggest problem again, I was thinking about this the other, like I was after I read this. It's like if we're set kind of in medieval times, do people just forget how to make armor and then kind of remember how to make it again? It's just there's such when it was like Conan walking around with a sword, that was kind of the basics is fine. But when you start introducing, I mean, it's pre-Conan, so do they forget how to make plate mail? It's just, and then they kind of remember it. There's some weird stuff. But yeah, it's not terrible. It's just odd. But yeah, by for the Conan story, and then next month apparently we have the first part of this Scourge of Serpent thing, which I believe could be a crossover because it seems to have a lot of extra people in it. So again, it's kind of the way I kind of like it. I do prefer it to be Conan and other people in this, and then use Conan himself in his own series. I mean, if we didn't have Savage Sword of Conan, we would have got the Solomon Kane series. I don't think, because I think Zurch's work on that was so good. They basically said, well, we have to have him do a mini series. Yeah, number 9, all in all, pretty decent. So there you go. Anyway, that's enough yammering for now. So thanks for listening, and hopefully I will see you on another video very soon. Bye bye.